FX as the old man continues its tense journey into Dan Chase's world of espionage and moral ambiguity in Season 2, Episode 6, titled 13. After last week's brutal ending, this episode's transatlantic setting feels like a brief pause, though it's far from filler. With Dan Chase, Jeff Bridges, and Zoe McDonald, Amy Brenneman, landing in London, the plot quickly heats up as they pursue legal counsel Nina Kruger. Despite its shorter runtime, the episode packs plenty of tension and nuance, particularly in the evolving dynamic between Dan and Zoe. Dan and Zoe's power dynamic takes center stage. One of the most compelling elements of this episode is the ever-shifting relationship between Dan and Zoe. Their partnership has deepened since their initial meeting, evolving into something more complex. Episode 6 focuses on their mission to track down Nina in the UK, while doubling down on the complicated emotional bond between them. Dan, a lone wolf by nature, and Zoe, resourceful and volatile, form an unlikely but effective team. Their shared experiences have shaped their characters, leading to moments of both tenderness and volatility that drive the story forward. While the episode may seem like a slow burn compared to earlier ones, the writing shines in its subtlety. Jeff Bridges and Amy Brenneman deliver standout performances, portraying two characters who are as self-destructive as they are determined. Their interplay keeps viewers hooked, as they walk a fine line between cooperation and conflict, never fully trusting each other yet needing the other to survive. Harold Harper and Julian Carson, a tense reunion. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Atlantic, Harold Harper, John Lithgow, finds himself in a precarious position. Still reeling from past betrayals, he seeks retribution while struggling to regain control of his life. His encounter with Julian Carson, a familiar face from Season 1, adds another layer to the episode. Julian, who has tried to leave his past behind, finds himself drawn back into the fold, with both characters realizing they have much to lose if their connection to Morgan Boat's assassination comes to light. Harold's quiet intensity, combined with Julian's calculated detachment, sets the stage for what could be a critical partnership in future episodes. Though their interaction gets less screen time, it promises to add complexity to the plot as the season progresses. Zoe's transformation, an asset or a threat? Zoe McDonald's evolution into a formidable asset becomes even more apparent in Episode 6. Her character has transformed significantly from her initial introduction, proving herself to be both a valuable ally and a potential threat. Having outsmarted Dan in Season 1, Zoe's time spent with Morgan Boat has only sharpened her edge, making her a wild card in the current narrative. Her ability to emotionally detach from situations adds to the tension, leaving viewers unsure of where her loyalties truly lie. This emotional detachment forms a central question in the episode: can two individuals who seem destined to cause emotional damage ever find peace or redemption? As Dan and Zoe navigate their relationship, they are forced to confront the choices that have led them to this point, and whether they are capable of changing. Ethical dilemmas and personal stakes. The heart of Episode 6 lies in its exploration of ethical dilemmas and personal stakes. Dan's quest for information on Pavlovich continues, with Zoe by his side as they use both intimidation and ingenuity to track down their target. The subtle tension between the two adds a psychological edge to their mission, as they weigh the moral consequences of their actions. However, the episode's philosophical undertones raise more questions than answers. Can Dan and Zoe break free from the violence that has defined their lives, or will they embrace it? This internal conflict is what sets The Old Man apart from typical spy thrillers, creating a sense of unpredictability that keeps audiences engaged. A disappointing third act. Despite its strong character work and moral complexity, Episode 6 stumbles in its third act. As the story shifts focus to a more conventional spy plot, involving flash drives, exposition-heavy emails, and airborne toxins, it feels like the show falls into familiar genre traps. These narrative shortcuts detract from the episode's earlier tension, leading to a somewhat lazy conclusion that doesn't live up to the potential set up in the first half. This sudden reliance on spy genre clichés is jarring, especially for a series that has been so meticulous in its storytelling. While the performances of Bridges and Brenneman save the episode from completely derailing, the lackluster final third leaves much to be desired. It's a strange misstep for a show that has otherwise been laser-focused on character-driven drama and innovative plotting. Looking ahead, what's next for the old man? As the episode ends, Dan finds himself poisoned and in the hands of Russian mercenaries, while Zoe must rally her resources to save him. With the stakes rising and alliances shifting, the old man is setting up a high-stakes penultimate episode. The ethical and personal conflicts that have defined the series so far continue to loom large, promising more twists and revelations as the season nears its conclusion. Despite the shortcomings in episode 6, The Old Man remains a compelling thriller, driven by complex characters and powerful performances. The question now is whether the show can maintain its narrative momentum and deliver a satisfying resolution in the episodes to come. The Old Man airs Thursdays at 10 p.m. on FX.